Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Lois and welcome back to Age of Engineering. In the last episode, we got the next age unlocked. We unlocked the Forestry age, the farming age, as I think it's called in the guide, is it? Yes. So the next age is the Ender age, and then the Automation age. Um, Now that you can create inrods. Hold up, hold up. Presumably, what is? Let's see, blaze rods. Yeah, pop short, of course. Which you can do in anything. All right, so have we not been able to go to the end? Oh no, no, no. You need nutrient distillation. Okay, never mind, never mind. Um. All right. So basically, we need to do some stuff. Um. We need to do a little bit of stuff before we can get into the Ender Age. And honestly, once we start getting into the Ender Age, that is when, unfortunately, this base is going to be, it's going to start becoming a little bit more tedious and obsolete. The reason being is we're going to be accessing a lot better tools to move power and items around than these guys, these wire connectors and all that kind of fun stuff. Now, while these are great to use and all of that fun stuff, yeah, they're not very good. Now I do have, let's see, it's in here. We have a whole bunch of purple slime balls, which I believe are the best for the slimy generator. I do believe, yeah, purple and blood are the best, which is strange, I know, but they are the best for this guy, so that's what we're going to use. Just to make sure we have plenty of power going on. But yeah, so once we get to the Ender Age, moving items and fluids and power around is going to be a lot easier. And I say, oh, whoops, I didn't mean to click that one. I say a lot easier, but I don't know how bad it is to actually craft this stuff. So conduit binder does require CF powder, which is small stones. We're going to actually get a lot of that, so that's not too bad. It also requires wood pulp, which is carpenter and water. That's easy enough. Or sag mill. Once we actually get the sag mill, that's easy enough. The thing that's holding us back is getting the machine chassis, which requires seed oil, sturdy casings, iron casings. These are expensive. So the actual conduit binder is not too bad to make. Now, quite clear glass, which is just glass that's been smelted up again. Fused quartz, which is just nether quartz, and then fused quartz with vibrant alloy. So that all looks like the standard recipes. Energy conduits are conductive iron, which iron and redstone, easy enough. These you can upgrade the energy conduits, which is probably what we'll do as we get more stuff. But I think this is, yep, standard recipe. And the vibrant alloy is standard recipe. Cool. So, and we can also upgrade them. So that is nice. And then item conduits is standard recipe. All right. So basically, once we have the alloy smelter and the sag mill, we can start making all this stuff, which is going to be great. And that's going to be the point where I'm going to want to start thinking about moving our base into the area over here, into the mining age, because eternal daytime, and when we have solar panels, specifically the solar panel tier 1, which empowered palace crystals, we can go ahead and make, but we're going to need a lot of those. And then blocks of gold, and then solar cells, we're going to need a lot of these, which require octadic capacitors, and those are expensive. So redstone ingots, which aren't too bad. Algorithm separators are going to be the best thing for that, but there's still a lot of work. So finishing up this base is going to be fine to do. And then I'm going to keep this base here. We're just going to strip it of everything. The flooring is something that I don't know if I want to do anytime soon, to be honest, just because that's annoying. But like I said, once we get into the Ender Age and just kind of progress a little bit farther and get some more technology up and running, we're just going to move into the mining age and rebuild our base from scratch and make it nice and, well, it's going to be completely purposed. Like, every room is going to have its purpose, and there's going to be automation everywhere, and everything will be great. Hopefully. So, today we are going to be doing something that I know a lot of you probably dislike, and that is bees. Before we do bees, we do need to go ahead and get another sturdy casing, which is honestly not too bad. It is a lot of bronze, but it's also just a lot of power. We have the power, so it's not that bad. So this will give us another sturdy casing. Now, why do we want two? Well, if I can find my other one, which is right here, the main reason we're going to want two sturdy casings is pretty easy, actually. We're going to need both a carpenter and a squeezer, because if we want to do anything with bees, we're going to need an apiary. Apiary requires a carpenter to make, and it requires seed oil. Well, seed oil requires a squeezer. So, we need both. That's not too big of a deal. Like, it's not anything to really worry about. So, something that we're going to go ahead and do is make a double chest. We're also going to need a couple other things. So, one thing we're going to need, we are going to need some flint and steel. Just one, please. We are going to need some tin. I think we need five, yes. And we're going to need some leather, which would be in the mob drops. We have more than enough leather and a stick. Alright, cool. So we're going to be making this bee smoker. Now the whole point of this guy is to make it easier to get the bees. We're also going to want a scoop, which requires some wool. Now I don't have any wool, but I do have plenty of string, and we're going to take like 4 scoops. That sounds good. Hopefully we have enough sticks on us. If not, we can make more. But there's the wool, and there's the scoops. So these guys are what's going to be important very soon. So we have our other sturdy casing. We'll get back to those in a little bit. I'm going to put them in here. Don't let me forget they're in there. So before we do anything else, we're going to be doing a lot of the bee stuff in the mining world already. More than just because we're going to be moving to the mining world. This is a nice biome. It is a... I mean, there's also bees here, which is good. But this is a really nice biome, so we're just going to set up some bee stuff over here. And I believe if we put this in our offhand, what we need to do is we'll need to... Wow, there's a lot of forest bees here. So forest bees are not going to be an issue. Let's turn F7 off. So these guys will sting you unless you smoke them out a little bit, and that calms them down. And then you can grab them. And that's pretty much all you have to do. Just smoke them for a while and then scoop them up. And we actually just got a Valiant Princess. That's actually really cool. Valiant Princesses are relatively rare. At least they used to be. No, we don't need all that many meadows. But we'll get one more hive. And basically, we're gonna go around and try to get a bunch of different bees so that we can do a bunch of different things. Now, the slime sling. There we go. That is going to be really important for this because it's going to allow us to get around really quickly. Looks like this mining biome has nothing but meadows bees, which is fine. Meadows is one of the ones that we're going to want. Now, I've said last episode, and I'll say it again, I know bees are not most people's favorite thing. I get it. I understand. Bees are tedious, especially because this mod pack doesn't actually have anything like Gindustry to make bees easy. We don't need bees for all that much. We do need to get to the Imperial bees, and basically anything other than that is optional, which is nice. But that being said, we're gonna put, you know what, when we come back in here, we're gonna grab another couple of chests. Let's get like 2 more chests for that area. But yeah, like I said, I know bees aren't like most people's favorite thing in the world, and especially when bees are going to be, I hate to use this term, but vanilla, unmodified by other mods. So no gendistry, no, I don't even think this has like the genetics mod. It might have the genetics mod. Do we have like a climatizer? I don't think so. I think we could do at bees. We have more bees, which gives us like crystal combs and metallic combs, that kind of stuff. But I don't believe we have anything like some mutating frames. We do have. That's actually kind of annoying to make. Wow. Super cooled. What are those? So production up, genetic decay up, mutation way down, lifespan down actually. And then sweet frames, which is a slight production up, genetic decay slightly up, mutation reduced, lifespan normal. So that one's actually not that bad. I think if we look up something like frame, yeah, so we just have the normal and then more bees, and it doesn't look like we have anything else. So mutations are going to be pretty much let's see, alvearies will allow us to potentially, no, that might be a different mod. We might not be able to do much in the whole changing the bees easily thing. We'll see. So yeah, bees are fun, but I know that a lot of people don't like bees. I understand. For me, bees are going to be mostly a background thing, and I'll kind of keep you guys like posted about it, but not really doing much with it. Like, because I know you guys don't want episodes full of just bees. Today's episode is going to be mostly bees, but not fully bees, which makes sense once I explain it, but basically we're going to go out and look for bees. We're going to get a decent amount of bees, and then we're going to come back and start them. But that's it. Just to get kind of into what bees are going to be involving and all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm going to take all of my princesses up there, all my drones down there for now, and then we'll need a couple of things. One of the things we'll need later, which we might be able to make, is a beealyzer. Portable analyzer. They changed the name. I don't like that. I like the beealyzer name. Portable analyzer. So this guy is made in a carpenter. So once we have the carpenter, we'll make that as well. So we need bees. There are desert bees, so let's go try to get some modest bees. There are actually a couple hives right here. So luckily bees are not terribly difficult to find. I want to try not to get stung too much, because bees can hurt. And that's why I made the smoker. So the smoker will allow us to negate the effect of the bees. Now there is also water hives we might as well grab, and there's some more bees right there. There's a bunny in the sea. And then we'll head over and try to find like just some other things. So underwater bees are going to be a little bit more challenging to find. I think, in the ocean because just how deep the ocean gets. So let's pop this way. And real quick, I actually want to look at our map. Let's head off to this forest, and there is a swamp past it, so that'll be good. So we need to head directly that direction. I have a bed on me. So let's just bounce over there. And yeah, so what we'll do is get some bees, and then we will kind of move on. Next time we will be working probably with calculator more than anything, because we need a lot of stuff from calculator before we can really progress. And I think that's going to be the best way to do things. We'll need to like slowly make all the machines we need and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a process to get to the Ender Age. But among other things, bees are actually going to benefit from getting some Ender IO item conduits because of the nature of the conduits and how apiaries work. So we'll be able to basically just kind of set the bees and never worry about them ever again. And it's going to be great. It's what I'm kind of looking forward to. It's going to make my life a lot easier. And anything that makes my life easier is good by me. So let's head this direction into the swamp. Let's grab some swamp bees and any water bees if we see them. But here is some marshy hives. Now I don't know how much we're actually going to do with bees later. We might actually do quite a bit. I don't know yet. We'll find out. We'll figure it out. It looks like I've been here before. Yeah, I think I came over here and chopped down a whole bunch of trees at one point. So let's just grab all this stuff. And we'll head back before we continue on. Actually, we have 3 apples. Let's eat the apples. And I think we can go ahead and plant. You know, we can just throw the mushrooms away. Don't really need those. Do we have any other bees in the area? Preferably marshy. There's some marshy bees. We'll go drop these guys off and then we'll come back this direction. And I want to just find some forest bees before we call the bee hunting off for today. Now, of course, I am going to continue getting bees basically whenever I can. More meadows. We have space for some more meadows, so let's go ahead and grab them. And do I not have any waypoints up? I'll turn that on so that I know where I'm going. And I went straight up. Cool. That's useful. Now there is... I forgot about the... there are bee guys. Did we already take everything out of... I don't think we did. No, so we have some forest. We have some honeycombs. We have some bee houses, which aren't the same as apiaries. We want apiaries because apiaries are going to be the best. But this village does have a bee house, which is good. Also means it has a bee guy, which is also good. So we'll just kind of bounce back over to our house. There's some more modest bees. And basically once we get a little bit of forest bees, we'll start working on making the aviaries. So eventually we're probably going to want some alvearies. Alvearies are slightly better than aviaries, but they're considerably more expensive. Also lag. Alright, so we can also sleep while we're here and go from there. So yeah, The alvearies and apiaries are better than the bee houses. The bee houses are very simple to make though, which is why they're so cheap. It used to be that the villagers in the bee villagers would have apiaries that you could take, but that's been changed, unfortunately. So let's go ahead. Drones, drones, drones. Princesses. I'll also put queens in there. And I think what we need to do right now, other than we'll just come back in here and sleep here in half hour, which is just a couple seconds, or half a minute or something. Let's get rid of saplings. And, you know what, let's go ahead and put the stone away, because we don't really need that. Actually, we can keep the stone on us. And yeah, so if we want to make the carpenter, we're going to need bronze and glass. The squeezer is 10 in glass, so we need 6 of each of these. I'm going to have to go mining between episodes, probably. And we need some glass, which will be in here. And we go ahead and make both these machines. Now, both of these machines are going to be necessary for later, so making them now is not a big thing. But for the time being, okay, let's sleep so we don't get any mob spawning. For the time being, we're just going to set them up. I'm not going to worry too much about them. Let's put them over here. And what we can do, we're going to need to power them both. So we're going to need some more lines, power lines, all that fun stuff, which is in here. We have 1 MV coil, 1 connector. Definitely going to need more. But you know what? We're not really using the laser guy right now, so we'll just strip him of power. And there we go. So these guys will be nice and powered up. This guy will require water and or other liquids. This guy will require liquids. And we'll kind of deal with that later. Get that nice and automated eventually. But for now, let's head back to the village, which is not very far this way. And go ahead and grab all of the good stuff that we need, specifically those bees, anything else, and then try to find some forest bees, because if we can find forest bees, that will be very helpful, which honestly shouldn't be too difficult. They are white hives, usually in trees. There's one right there, and like I've said, we don't really need too many hives as long as we get a pristine bee. Now, I haven't really talked about this, but there are 2 types of bees. There are pristine and there are ignoble. Pristine are perfect. They will not decay or anything like that. In other words, you can breed them for eternity and you'll never have an issue. And they are perfect. They're pristine. Ignoble have some sort of genetic defect, storyline-wise, and basically, they will die eventually. Now, this is usually hundreds of mutations later, but still, they are not reliable because of that. There are ways to kind of stabilize their genetic mutations, but it's not very easy. And I don't think there's a good way in the base forestry. It's just basically bees are going to die. So let's take this stuff. I'm also going to take the saplings because why not? And might as well take the chest. So take all these guys and yeah, well, I don't really want the bee houses. Let's put these back. And we have a little bit of space for some stuff, so let's go find one more beehive. Now, birch forests can have the forest bees, but be warned that since the hives are white, birch forests are usually pretty bad to look in. It's hard to see the white against all of the white. So let's look at journey map. There's another forest over here, so that might be better. There's also, that's all birch forest. It's all birch forest until we get up way up here. So looks like we're going to be doing one of these. We do need to eat, and I'm gonna need to get some more food soon. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, but it's something that I'm gonna need. Yeah, I can see Meadows hives here. The other secret is if you are well equipped enough. Oh my gosh, my computer does not like all of these trees. But the other trick to finding bees is if you are well equipped enough, armor and all that kind of stuff. Best time to hunt is at night, because beehives actually give off a little bit of light. So you can just kind of go around and look for sources of light. There is another beehive. So let's get this forest. Hopefully it's a pristine. The other thing is, while a bee might say that it is a forest bee or a common, for example, bees mutate. And that's kind of the whole point. You'll have a bee that will be, half forest, like the dominant genes will be forest and the recessive will be common or something like that. It will appear as a forest bee, but it will also have the chance of giving off the common trait. So if you remember from elementary, unless you're still in elementary, in which case you'll probably do it at some point. You'd have the Punnett squares, I think they were called, where basically you have dominant recessive of both parents, and you have of 1 in 4 chance of each combination. So purebreds, so a forest or meadows or whatever. There's also icy bees, which are up here in the mountains, extreme hills, all that kind of stuff. There's also jungle bees. There should be nether bees and inn bees as well, but I don't know how easy those are going to be to find. But anyways, if you have purebred bees and you breed them together, so if you have 2 common, then you're gonna get common every time. Now the bees might not stack because there are a lot of different traits. There's, I believe, 13 different traits, and each bee has a recessive and dominant gene for all of those. And so unless they're exactly the same, you might not get stackable bees. But if they stack, they are exactly the same, and that's usually good. So if you want to make new bees, if you have a bee with a trait, so if you have like a forest common and you want a common, and you breed it with something else, that common gene has a chance of being chosen. So common, forest would give you a common forest in each of the 4 squares, and so you'd have a common forest. Now, whether it's the dominant or recessive is random, but you'd have a common forest. But if you have a common forest and a meadows common, you have a chance of getting a purebred common. So it's complicated, but it does work eventually in your favor sometimes. And yeah, it's a lot of work to get purebred bees, but it's worth it. Now, if the bees are capable of making a mutation, as long as there is the chance, it basically changes one of the traits to the mutation. So if it's supposed to be a common forest, well, common and forest make cultivated. So it could be a cultivated forest or cultivated common. It just kind of is random on that aspect. So a lot of stuff. And one of the things we're going to be making here in a moment is the Beealizer. That will greatly help us kind of figure out what's going to be the best way to do anything. The other thing we're going to need is alvearies. Apiaries. Alvearies are much later. And then the apiaries are basically what you breed the bees in, and good things happen. So let's go ahead and make some of the stuff. So I didn't want to keep this with me, but whatever. First thing we're going to want to make is the analyzer, aka the Beealizer. So we need 410 of these guys, a diamond, 2 redstone, the 10, and 2 buckets of water. So we just come over here and we'll put 1 bucket in here. We can take it out as well, which is nice. And how most forestry machines work is it puts a ghost image of what you're trying to make up here, and then after you put the inventory into it, it will go ahead and make whatever it is you want. So we need all of this water for the analyzer, and we'll have to click it, I think. Now the other thing we're going to want to make is apiaries, which requires impregnated casings, which requires seed oil. We're going to be making 4 of these at once because wood, easier. So in order to get that, we're going to need 100 seeds of some sort. I don't think anything is better that we have access to. So something we have that gives us a lot of seeds actually is canola. We have that right over here. There is a witch on the other side of my wall. So let's just get all this canola, and we can make even more canola seeds. So we have 66. We're gonna need 100 to make a bucket. So let's go ahead and sleep just to get rid of any problems. And yeah. We need, let's see, we have 66, we need 34 more seeds. Seeds are in here. 34. So 36. 2, 3, 4. Yes, that is 100 seeds. And we can go ahead and get this going. And it will squeeze the seed oil. So we have the portable analyzer. That is awesome. So what this guy will do is it runs off of honey or honeydew, and you put bees in here and it tells you all the information about that bee. Really useful, really handy, works really well. Like, it's exactly what we need right now. So let's get, actually I have a bunch of filled tin cans. We'll just eat this for now. And go from there. We get the tin cans back. Ooh. We do anything with this? We can macerate it into 10. Yeah, you know what? Let's just put this back in here and put that in there. And let's grab the pork chops and we'll go ahead and cook those up while we're waiting for everything to process. So, furnace. We don't have much power, but because this guy is sucking up all the power. But we do have some coal coke that we can use. And we're also going to need half a stack of wood. So we'll get that. And we'll be able to make a lot of apiaries with this. So won't really have to worry about apiaries after this for a while. And like I said, once we have the fantastic Ender.io up and running, that's going to help us a lot with getting more stuff. So this is going to take a while. We can take that out, but we just put this like so. And once we have a bucket of seed oil, we'll fill that up. And we'll get that. So basically going to have to wait for this. The rest of the apiary is just planks and slabs. So let's go ahead and get that taken care of. We're going to need 20 planks. and 2 sets of slabs, so 6 wood. And so just something like this, and this. And once we have the rest, which we are to 550, so we're over halfway there. Won't take that long. Hopefully not. So this is making plenty of power. This guy is finally full of power. EU is going to definitely be something that we want to kind of not have to worry too much about. And it's going to be one of those things that I'm going to probably hate it when we move EU. Now I want to see if there's something. So we have all this stuff, so we don't really need any of it. Don't really care. Let's see if we have access to electrical. Alright, so we do have... Oh no, that's the other way around. EU. There's got to be some good ways to produce EU, and honestly, windmill, watermill, solar panel from this output rate is 32, but it's disabled. So is the generator's not. Lightning rod, yeah, that is a lot of power. It generates a lot of power, but it's also terrible. The fusion reactor is also terrible to use. Yeah, let's see. Electric engine generates EU from biomass, so this is an option. Because making biomass is not that difficult. And I've seen that used before, but I think what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making advanced generators. So when's the earliest we can make that? Once we have Ender IO, it looks like. So let's just look up advanced generators. We'll want to make, you know, really good turbines, which these things are expensive, but they're not that bad. Just requires a lot of stuff. And we can make all these turbines and all this kind of stuff. Produces up to 500 RF per tick, 100, 500. So Manulan is going to be probably the best option for us. Or advanced alloys, but that's expensive. And what we can do is we can have basically converter to do different things. And I'll have to look into this mod before we get there, but it looks like as soon as we get into Ender IO, we can start making this stuff. Because I'm not really seeing anything that is too difficult. Or anything that's like prohibitive, other than we're gonna need Ender IO. So that's gonna be that. All right, are we done with this? Yes, we have our seed oil bucket. We can now go here, put our seed oil in here, and we're gonna need to produce a lot of seed oil. That is something that's going to take. It's going to be necessary for a lot of different things, and namely, it's going to be our access into the machine chassis. So once we get access to a lot of seed oil, we're going to need a bucket for each chassis, which is H5. But again, it's not something I really want to make yet, because we're also going to need thickened glass and redstone ingots. Thickened glass is easy enough. It is just glass and a little bit more sand. Bunch of copper, and then redstone ingots, which we could make in the scientific calculator, but if we can get the algorithm separator, it's a lot better. However, to do that, we are going to need lithium dust, which is nether quartz, and the thermal centrifuge, so expensive stuff. But anyways, we have our apiaries, and there we go. Now, one last, we want one more machine, don't we? We want the centrifuge. Well, you know what? We'll worry about that later. For now, we have all the bee stuff, and I think I'm going to go ahead and... Because in order to actually kind of decide what bees to use, we're going to need another sturdy casing. And we can put the bees over here. They are going to need flowers. Let's separate them just a little bit. So they are going to need flowers. I think any vanilla flower will work. So these tulips should work just fine. We'll just do one of these. And we do have a lot of honeycombs. However, if we want to use these, we're going to need the squeezer. So can we make a squeezer real quick? Or not squeezer, a centrifuge. Centrifuge. This guy, which is copper, glass, and another sturdy casing. Sturdy casing is a lot of bronze. I don't know that we have enough to actually make it, so we'll see. Because we need 8 for the large plate that goes in the center, and we're going to need some more for the other parts. We have exactly 8 for the large plate in the center, and we don't have enough copper. So you know what? I think what I'm going to do is, because I have a little bit of copper dust there, but I don't have any copper to process. So yeah, we're going to need to do something like this. I'm going to need more copper, one more copper, these guys. Wrong thing. We need to do this and that. That makes the steel mechanism. There's the bronze gear. We need 2 bronze. So yeah, I'm going to need more bronze. I don't have enough copper. I might have enough to make the sturdy casing, but then we're going to need a little bit more copper for other things. So we'll put this stuff in here. And that will make a little bit. I think I'm going to need to put some bronze in there as well. And we just come over here. We need a plate. We might have enough stuff. So this goes here. Once we have the first plate, if we can go just get a little bit more copper, we might be able to do this. So first bronze plate will go here. We have enough power to make another sturdy casing, so that's not an issue. And then this goes through again. Do we have enough bronze? We have a block. Well, we're going to do this, and we're going to get an ingot. So I miscounted, but that's fine. Yeah, I only need to put 1 in there. We're going to have an extra bronze. That's fine. So that'll be done here in a moment. Let's go ahead and sleep. And we need just a little bit more copper. Not much, just like a couple pieces. And we should be able to do this, so let's get that bronze. Alright, yeah, we're going to keep that as the ingot cast because I think that's going to be the best. We put the large plate in the center. And then the 2 item casings over here. And that will produce the thing we need. So we just need 6 copper in total. So 3 ore. Let's head to the mining world and see if we can't find that. Because I don't have any more copper ore in here, unfortunately. So bronze goes there. We will head back to the mining world. I want to try to get this finished just so I can show off the the Bealyzer, the portable analyzer. That's what it's called now. It's such a weird name. I like Bealyzer. It used to be 3 different machines in one. Like, it used to be 3 different machines, so they turned it into one machine, which I understand. But at the same time, why'd they change the name? I like the name. So, can we find some bronze, or rather copper? F7. There's some copper. Alright, so We need 3 pieces. I will come back and mine more later. For now, I just wanted to get a little bit. And we can do our thing, call it a day, and be on our way. So, F7. We just make the whole, we crush it up, and we'll make our 6 pieces. So there is the sturdy casing. We put that there. And then we need to grab 2 more glass. Easy enough. And those goes top, bottom. And for the time being, we're going to steal this guy. I'll get more things soon enough. And for the 6, we're just going to come over here. Throw it in here. It's fast enough. And collect the experience. And once we have the copper, we shall make the centrifuge, and then we can start centrifuging our honeycombs to make honey. Now, other things we can make with this is the apiary's chest. That might be useful later. We can also create the honey, and yeah, we'll get beeswax from this as well. Beeswax is somewhat useful, but not terribly. For the most part, we're just going to put it in a drawer probably, and kind of forget about it. So there is the centrifuge. We have 3 of the 4 main machines from Forestry now. So we do that, and we put these guys in here. Now, we could add a circuit board later to make this machine a lot faster, which we're probably going to want to do. But as soon as we get 1 piece of honey, I will show off what we can do. So this is all chunk loaded, so we can go to the mining world and not worry about it. Basically, actually, if we have 2 pieces of honey, that'd be even better. For right now, the bees aren't going to be something super important. I'm not going to deal with them too much right now, just because Ender.io. I want Ender.io in order to make bees a little bit more automatable. So yeah, we'll deal with it then. But for now, I just want to kind of show it off so I don't have to do this later. So we put the honey in there, and let's grab pristine forest, and let's grab these forests that stack. So these guys are forest meadows. Ugh. Not good. And this is a forest meadows as well. So you know what? Let's go ahead and put these guys in here. Now we might get forest, we might get meadows. I don't know, but you just put them in here like this, and we'll make a queen, and it will do its thing. It will say if it needs anything. These guys are good for normal, which is what this biome is. It is basically a plains biome. So these guys will be fine, they'll be happy, and their life will tick away slowly. And once it does, then they'll produce some stuff. They have a chance every bee tick, which is like every 32 ticks. So right there was a bee tick. It's like every 32 redstone ticks, or like it's every so often in the game. If you know how the game tick works, bee ticks are different. Similarly, like redstone ticks are every 2 game ticks. I think bee ticks are every 32 game ticks, or every 32 redstone ticks, which would be 64. I think it's game ticks though. It ticks, and it has a chance to produce, depending on the bees, and all their stats and all that kind of fun stuff. And then when they die, it produces a queen, or not a princess typically, and then drones, depending on its fertility. So a lot of things, and honestly, right now we're just gonna let those go and not worry about it. So, oops, teleported twice, or I crashed. Teleported twice. Alright, so anyways, I think that's going to be good enough for this episode. Next time we are going to be working with a little bit more stuff. I think the plan is going to be to start working towards getting some calculator stuff that's going to be super useful, and go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!